As we go through this course, I'm going to show you different types of software that I use. Many of those are going to be optional. Invoicing and accounting software is also optional. However, I'm going to strongly suggest you go with my recommendation on this. As we said earlier, one of the most important aspects of being successful in this business is having a good residual income. Residual income is income that you receive month after month, which means you'll need to send an invoice to your clients every single month. Now, you can do this manually yourself, but that means you have to make an invoice for each client every month and send it to them. You'll have some clients that want their invoice by email, you'll have some that want it by snail mail, and then you'll have some that would like to automatically have it deducted from their credit card. When I first started, I tried to do this manually. By the time I got to my 10th customer, I was sick and tired of manually creating these invoices, putting them in envelopes, sending them out, sending out the emails. I just got tired of doing it. So after many searches and trials for software that could handle recurring invoicing, I finally came across two systems that work perfectly. One is called FreshBooks, which also includes accounting software, and the other is a WordPress plugin that I use. So let's take a look at these. When I invoice my clients, it's always done in one of three ways. The first is when I make an initial sale. When I make a sale, the client pays a setup fee. I usually charge half up front and then half when the site is complete. I immediately collect the half up front. So there's no need to send an invoice or anything. They simply put a check in my hand. That's the first way of invoicing. And usually those are large checks because you'll be obviously getting more initially on setup fees. The final payment is also given to me by hand because I'm meeting with the client and going over their new website, or either I'll send them a final invoice using FreshBooks. So let's take a look at FreshBooks. What you're seeing here is my actual FreshBooks account. Some sections, as you can see, are blacked out because I don't want to show the names and information of my customers, but you can see here on my summary page the amount of invoicing I have done over the past 6 months. When I told you in my opening video that I make a 6-figure income, I wasn't just talking. You can see here that I make 6 figures just from my FreshBooks invoicing. And this doesn't even include initial setup payments that I receive, nor does it include payments that are automatically deducted from credit cards, which I will show you here shortly. Here's the beauty of FreshBooks. With FreshBooks, you can set up your customer, give them a username and password, and they'll be able to log in and pay their invoices when they receive them. Then you can create two different kinds of invoices, either a one-time payment invoice or a recurring invoice. Here you can see a list of all of your invoices. As you can see, I have 48 pages of invoices with 15 invoices per page. That's 720 invoices. Imagine how long it would take if I had done those manually. With FreshBooks, it's all automated. If you're creating a recurring invoice, you can choose to invoice the client weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, yearly, however you like. Then you can choose to email or snail mail the invoice, and FreshBooks does the rest. Once the client receives your invoice, they can either log in and pay it online, or they can send you a check in the mail. If you get a check in the mail, you basically log in and simply mark it as paid. It's that simple, and it saves a ton of time. As I said before, you can also use FreshBooks for your accounting, but I'm not going to go into that here. Just know that FreshBooks is the best software out there for invoicing if you plan to receive residual income. You can find a link to it in the bonus section below. So we've looked at getting paid in person when you make a sale and getting paid through FreshBooks. The last one I want to show you is a WordPress plugin that I use to accept payments via automatic credit card charges. So here you can actually see the backside of my website, and I'm showing you some of the plugins I use right here. As you can see, I have the WooCommerce plugin that I use as my shopping cart, and then I add the subscription plugin, which goes along with the Stripe Gateway plugin, because I use Stripe as my credit card processor. So here's how it works. Let's say I want to create a subscription that charges my clients $65 per month. I simply go to products and add a new product. I type in the name I want to call it and then go down and select simple subscription. I put in the monthly amount of $65 and save it. Then I'm going to copy the link to the published page, log out, paste the link into a new window, and add the subscription to the cart. Now all I have to do is enter my customer's information and their card information, and it will be charged every month. And then Stripe will deposit that money into my bank account 2 days later. If your customer ever wants to cancel, you simply go to your active subscriptions, as you can see here, find that customer, and here you can see again, I've blocked out my customers' names, but you find that customer and you suspend the draft. It's that easy. Just remember, as you're growing your business, your biggest asset is time. The more ways you can save time, the better. That is why I strongly recommend that you use FreshBooks and WooCommerce subscriptions for invoicing your clients.